Yes.
In your region,
Yes.
over the past few years, you've mentioned, I think indirectly in your testimony once, that the deaths, you were concerned about the deaths in your area. The increasing deaths in your area. Has the murder rate increased in your area where you live in KZN?
Not at all. What various statistics per quarter show is that murders in KZN are very high, but political killings have decreased as a result of various factors. But the murders general in the province have not shown any decline, and that is exactly what is getting me more and more worried. To say, what are we doing? Are we doing justice for every citizen? Are we ethical in terms of our approach? Are we realistic? Are we realistic in terms of hitting the call that we should overcome the scourge of murders in the country? Because it's not murders of politicians and Nduna Namakosi. That is a concern, but not them alone. Together with that of citizens general. Murders in KZN are very high, concerning, very, very, very concerning.
Despite this huge investment, who arrested the hitman on AKA?
Can you come back?
The hitman who murdered AKA, who arrested them? Was it the political killings task team, or was it the national task team?
Well, I'm not sure about who, in terms of name and surname and so on, who actually did the arrest, but police would be able to give the exact reports on that matter. I didn't ask whether it is NIU, whether it is the National Political Killings Task Team, or what.
We have it on good record that it was not the PKTT. And yet this high-profile murder happened 5-kilometer radius from where the task team is based. And for months, it has gone unresolved. Minister, we've now gone through all the things that you've put before us that would serve as basis for writing a directive to say that these are the reasons why the political killings task team should be disbanded. You question whether or not it has added value, and we've looked into it retrospectively. But you say you only made the decision based on them no longer adding value. Now, if you discard everything that we've just spoken about, and you say to me that you have not based your decision on those facts, you're now going to have to make me understand the period that you are referring to when you say that you've used to make that decision. So you're talking futuristic. They're no longer adding value. But they did. And if you have not considered what I've put to you, what did you consider then to come to the conclusion that they should be disbanded?
This isn't just any chat, it's ClickUp chat. Even drop an emoji. But they're
Well, I'm saying if you consider everything that you have been saying, even though I didn't go to that long calculations, as you were saying, but generally what was being reflected and what was being observed is that on one hand, political killings are decreasing, the cases are decreasing, but you are funding at the level, and you were bound to conclude that there is something disproportionate here. And then you go out of KZN, you look at nationally to say you are facing a serious problem all over, including in some other sections like detectives, DPCI, and so on. And therefore, you are bound to review how you use your budget.
So it is a formal term. You define your relationship with Mr. Brian Mokgotsi using that formal term.
As I say, it can be used formally, but also just loosely to refer to someone who is within the ANC, within the party. The contexts differ, but generally, that is the context.
Minister, you testified that factually, it is me who wrote the letter, close quote. Is this true?
I testified that.
You testified that, open quote, factually, it is me who wrote the letter of the 31st December. Is this true?
Yes, the letter of directives.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I wrote that letter.
Then what is the reason for you using language that makes it appear like it's not you who wrote the letter yourself? If you go to EB 40, page 50, when you look at the letter, the last, I think it's the second last paragraph, you say there, further, that a preliminary report in this regard be submitted to the minister by the 20th of January 2025. Why do you speak in a letter that you have written? Why do you speak in the third person as though it's not you having written it?
Well, I do sometimes write like that. Generally and personally, I'm not a self-conceited person. I'm not necessarily a person who wants, while writing a letter, you say the letter must be written, the report, preliminary report must be written to me. Like that. I just wanted to have that small distance that the letter, the preliminary report must be written to the, I could have said ministry, but said minister and so on. There is no other reason other than just being formal to the minister. Yes.
But the sentence just above that, you use the term my and I.
Yes, I do so.
In your testimony, Minister, what is the reason for withdrawing the statement, open quote, further existence of this team is no longer required, nor is it adding value, any value, to policing in South Africa?
The first part deals with what I've been dealing with in the last 3 days, or it refers to that, no longer required, emanating from right from 2019, when they intended then to replace the National Political Killings Task Team with a structure that was based on the study that had been done, and they sought long-term, they sought sustainability, just to make sure that they continue in a sustainable way to fight what was emerging, but taking it broader than just political killings. There were other crimes that were emerging at that time, and they thought that in order to contain everything, let them create a new structure.